A cold-blooded killer or a wronged man? A Sanilac County man insisting tonight he is innocent, even though he's serving life in prison for murder. Prosecutors claim Fred Freeman, a martial arts expert, is a dangerous criminal. He's been called the ninja murderer. He maintains they have the wrong man.
Was justice served? You may think twice after seeing our report. Channel 7's Bill Proctor's here now. He's been working on this case for the past 2 years, and there were more than a few irregularities.
Circumstantial evidence and speculation. That's what, of course, his defense attorneys are saying that this entire case was based on. But one thing has been very clear, almost from the very beginning. This was a very senseless killing, an assassination, if you will, that shook the small town of Croswell in the fall of 1986. That's where the young victim, Scott Macklem, is from. Now, 9 years later, the debate over the guilt or innocence of the man serving life for this killing is heating up.
Fred Freeman, in my opinion, is probably the most dangerous person I've ever come across.
Well, I've always said I'm not an angel, but I'm not a killer.
I thought that the guy got railroaded. And, I don't know, I couldn't believe that things like this would even be brought up in the court system.
They called it the Ninja Killer murder case because of suspect Frederick Freeman's prowess, his love for the martial arts. Prosecutors built an aura of evil around Frederick Freeman as a violent manipulator who controlled people with intimidation. He was smart, but according to one witness, he had dark powers that only a movie script could support. Mind control.
I think it was their duty to paint me as the bad man. I had to be the deadliest thing walking the face of the earth to convince the jury that I must have committed this crime. So from the very beginning, a story started about my having poison darts in my shoes. The very first police report says to be on the lookout, he's wearing poison darts.
It was in November of 1986 when Freeman was charged with the murder of young Scott Macklem, a well-liked student, son of the Croswell mayor. Just 20 years old at the time, he was engaged to his pregnant girlfriend, Crystal Merrill. For a couple of months, however, Crystal broke up with Scott to date the suspect, Fred Freeman, the only man ever investigated by police for the murder.
It was just a few minutes before 9 o'clock on a clear, sunny morning here at St. Clair Community College in the parking lot right outside the Student Activity Center. Scott Macklem was shot with a blast from a 12 gauge. A lot of people heard it, but no one saw the shooting.
Freeman was convicted, but now appeals attorneys have a laundry list of challenges. A key witness who placed Freeman at the scene had to be hypnotized to clarify his memory. No murder weapon, no getaway car were ever found. And when Freeman asked for a polygraph, it was denied. A defense attorney was plagued by substance abuse, and a bizarre motive was put forth as the heart of the case. Crystal Merrill, who claimed that she had been raped and abused by Freeman, also told the jury that Freeman did not want to let her go despite her engagement to Scott Macklem.
Fred Freeman was able to collect what we refer to in loose terms as a harem. He had a bunch of women that would do almost anything for him. His whole action was to try to control Crystal as he had these other women. And when Freeman found that he was not able to control this woman, he got rid of the reason, which was Scott.
Myself, knowing her, I thought it was the most ridiculous testimony I ever heard in my life. It was like something out of a bad movie. This was broad daylight in a college parking lot between classes with probably the loudest weapon you can legally purchase. This was stupidity. And this is not what I would have done if I had, been that angry a person. And I've never been that angry a person.
Of course, police investigators disagree with Freeman about his anger, his temper, and his ability to control it. But there are others, his supporters, who say that he was convicted on his reputation and not evidence. Tomorrow you will meet one of Fred's many girlfriends and an inmate, both crucial to the trial, one who testified, one who did not. But both, Diana, will be very, very important to the effort to get a new trial.